Oh, Mary.
What?
I just got an alert that Mary loved your post. I feel bad.
Oh. Good morning. Good morning. I just know they're gonna call about this though. I just know it. I just know. You know, it's the law of probability.
Isn't it Murphy's Law?
That I could sit around all day waiting and they won't come till 1 o'clock. But as soon as I'm like, all right, we'll try to leave by like 10. They'll be like, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Bible Study Sunday, which is such a great day. And Lorianne is here with me this morning. And before anybody says anything ridiculous like, why aren't you guys wearing masks? Lorianne has already beat COVID. So she has antibodies. So she can't get me sick and I can't get her sick. And also, we've been making out for 2 days. So at this point, if I have it, she has it. But I told my husband this morning that Lorianne beat cancer and COVID, which basically makes her a superhero, as far as I'm concerned. It's a big day for Bible study because in this week's episode, we receive God's 10 Commandments. And guys, I don't know about you, but that is a pretty big deal. Because we still, to this day, as believers, follow those 10 Commandments that if you look back, were given to Moses in Exodus, which is book 2, which is where we are. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting when something is tried and true and works for a very long time. And I'm not saying that we don't find ways to manipulate God's commandments, because certainly we do. And I'm not saying that, we all follow them all the time, because we don't. But it's cool that they were given to us. And for those of you who are worried about the storm, yeah, it's crazy. There's a big nor'easter coming. Lorianne's going to drive home today, and I'm going to go get snowed in Freehold because I don't want to get snowed in here by myself. Okay, so those of you that follow along in your own Bibles, we are in Exodus, book 2, chapter 17, water from the rock. And those of you that just like to listen, you're psychopaths, because I'm terrible at this. But here we go. As the Lord's command, the whole community of Israel left the wilderness of sin and moved from place to place. Eventually, they camped at Rephidim, but there was no water there for the people to drink. So once more, the people complained against Moses. "Give us water to drink," they demanded. "Quiet," Moses replied. "Why are you complaining against me, and why are you testing the Lord?" This is what I'm going to say to my kids now when they're like, "I'm hungry." I'm going to be like, "Why are you testing the Lord? Why?" But tormented by thirst, they continued to argue with Moses. "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Are you trying to kill us, our children, and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people?" By the way, if you've ever heard an 80-something-year-old Jewish man frustrated, then you've heard Moses. Okay, because Moses is in his 80s, and he's so annoyed by the level of responsibility that God has given him at this point. He's got all these Jews, everybody's unhappy, everybody's fetching, and Moses keeps going, "What should I do with these people? They are ready to stone me. What am I doing out here? This is crazy." He's like Bernie Sanders, basically.
Without the mittens.
Without the mittens. The Lord said to Moses, "Walk out in front of the people. Take your staff, the one you used when you struck the water of the Nile, and call some of the elders of Israel to join you." Nothing like a panel of old people to get the party started. "I will stand before you on the rock at Mount Sinai. Strike the rock and water will come gushing out. Then the people will be able to drink." So Moses struck the rock as he was told, and water gushed out as the elders looked on. Moses named the place Massah, which means test, and Meribah, which means arguing. Arguing, because the people of Israel argued with Moses and tested the Lord by saying, is the Lord here or not? I would just like to say, God is so, do you notice he tests these people in every way to be like, oh, you're thirsty? You feel some type of way? Now I'm going to make you feel real thirsty before I give you water. Like, why is he doing these people like that? Gosh, so much.
Instill faith in them.
I know, but Lord, literally, with the faith, we get it. Israel defeats the Amalekites. While the people of Israel were still at Rephidim, the warriors of Amalek attacked them. Moses commanded Joshua, choose some men to go out and fight the army of Amalek for us. Tomorrow I will stand at the top of the hill, holding the staff of God in my hand. So Joshua did what Moses had commanded and fought the army of Amalek. Meanwhile, Moses, Aaron, and Hur climbed to the top of a nearby hill. As long as Moses had held up the staff in his hand, the Israelites had the advantage. But whenever he dropped his hand, the Amalekites gained the advantage. So you make the 85-year-old hold up a staff the whole time. I'm doing it. My arm is tired. Fuck, you're going to have to lose for a little while. This is awful. Moses' arms soon became so tired he could no longer hold them up. So Aaron and Hur found a stone for him to sit on. Then they stood on each side of Moses, holding up his hands. So his hands held steady until sunset. As a result, Joshua overwhelmed the army of Amalek in battle. After the victory, the Lord instructed Moses, write this down on a scroll as a permanent reminder and read it out loud to Joshua. I will erase the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Moses built an altar there and named it Yahweh Nissi, which means the Lord is my banner. He said, they have raised their fist against the Lord's throne, so now the Lord will be at war with the Amalek generation after generation. Chapter 18, Jethro's visit to Moses. Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian, heard about everything God had done for Moses and his people, the Israelites. He heard especially about how the Lord had rescued them from Egypt. Earlier, Moses had sent his wife, Zipporah, and his 2 sons back to Jethro, who had taken them in. Moses' first son was named Gershom, for Moses had said when the boy was born, I have been a foreigner in a foreign land. His second son was named Eliezer, for Moses had said, the God of my ancestors was my helper. He rescued me from the sword of the Pharaoh. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, now came to visit Moses in the wilderness. He brought Moses, his wife, and 2 sons with him. They arrived while Moses and the people were camped near the mountain of God. Jethro had sent a message to Moses saying, I, Jethro, your father-in-law, am coming to see you with your wife and 2 sons. So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law. He bowed and kissed him. They asked about each other's welfare and then went into Moses' tent. Moses told his father-in-law everything the Lord had done to Pharaoh and Egypt on behalf of Israel. You know, he was like, yo, you're not going to believe this shit. This dude sent locusts. He sent plagues. He was killing everybody. And you know, Jethro was like, what kind of favored nation do you have with the Lord? He also told about all the hardships they had experienced along the way and how the Lord had rescued his people from all their troubles. Jethro was delighted when he heard about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel, and he rescued them from the hands of the Egyptians. Praise the Lord, Jethro said, for he has rescued you from the Egyptians and from Pharaoh. Yes, he has rescued Israel from the powerful hand of Egypt. I now know that the Lord is greater than other gods because he rescued his people from the oppression of the proud Egyptians. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to God. Aaron and all the elders of Israel came out and joined him in a sacrificial meal in God's presence. Jethro's wise advice. This is very exciting because we are so close to the next day, Moses took his seat to hear the people's disputes against each other. They waited before him from morning till evening. Could you imagine being Moses and being like, y'all really got complaints? Do you have any idea what I have been through and y'all really have complaints? When Moses' father-in-law saw all that Moses was doing for the people, he asked, what are you really trying to accomplish here? Why are you trying to do this alone while everyone stands around you from morning till evening? Moses replied, because the people come to me to get a ruling from God. When a dispute arises, they come to me, and I am the one who settles the case between the quarreling parties. I inform the people of God's decrees and give them the instructions. This is not good, Moses' father-in-law exclaimed. You are going to wear yourself out, and the people too. This job is too heavy a burden for you to handle by yourself. Yeah. Now listen to me and let me give you a word of advice, and may God be with you. You should continue to be the people's representative before God, bringing their disputes to him. Teach them God's decrees and give them his instructions. Show them how to conduct their lives, but select from all the people some capable and honest men who fear God and hate bribes. Oh, well, we certainly fucked that up, didn't we? Appoint them as leaders over groups of 1,150 and 10. They should always be available to solve the people's common disputes, but have them bring the major cases to you. Let the leaders decide the smaller matters themselves. This will help you carry the load, making the task easier for you. Follow this advice, and if God commands you to do so, then you will be able to endure the pressures, and all these people will go home in peace. Moses listened to his father-in-law and followed his suggestions. He chose capable men from all over Israel and appointed them as leaders over the people. He put them in charge of groups of 1,150 and 10. These men were always available to solve the people's common disputes. They brought the major cases to Moses, but they took care of all smaller matters themselves. Soon after this, Moses said goodbye to his father-in-law, who returned to his own land. Okay, see? That was some good advice. You can't do it all yourself. You have to delegate. You're old. I mean, you are. Chapter 19. We're so close to the 10 Commandments, guys. Exactly 2 months after the Israelites left Egypt, they arrived in the wilderness of Sinai. After breaking camp at Rephidim, they came to the wilderness of Sinai and set up camp there at the base. Then Moses climbed the mountain to appear before God. The Lord called to him from the mountain and said, give these instructions to the family of Jacob. Announce it to the descendants of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians. You know I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you will obey me and keep my covenant, you will be my own special treasure from among all the people on earth. For all the kingdom of priests for all the earth belongs to me, and you will be my kingdom of priests, my holy nation. This is the message you must give to the people of Israel. So Moses returned from the mountain and called together the elders of the people and told them everything the Lord had commanded him. And all the people responded together. We will do everything the Lord has commanded. So Moses brought the people's answer back to the Lord. And then the Lord said to Moses, I will come to you in thick clouds, so the people themselves can hear me when I speak. Ooh, that's exciting. Then they will always trust you. Moses told the Lord what the people had said. Then the Lord told Moses, go down and prepare the people for my arrival. Consecrate them today and tomorrow, but have them wash their clothing. Be sure they are ready on the third day, for on that day the Lord will come down to Mount Sinai as all the people watch. Mark off a boundary all around the mountain. Warn the people. Be careful. Do not go up on the mountain or even touch its boundaries. Anyone who touches the mountain will certainly be put to death. No hand may touch the person or animal that crosses the boundary. Instead, stone them or shoot them with arrows. Oy. Hold on. The devil is on Instagram. However, when the ram's horns sound a long blast, then the people may go up on the mountain. Now, really quick, for those of you who are raised Jewish, you know that the ram's horn is the shofar. And when the shofar is blown, you know it's safe, and that's what they blew the shofar. And I still remember the sounds because I was Jewish. So just to learn you, a ram's horn is the sound that God listens for. And what a ram's horn is called in Hebrew is a shofar. Okay. So Moses went down to the people, he consecrated them for worship, and they washed their clothes. He told them, get ready for the third day, and until then, abstain from having sex. Huh? God, I didn't hear God say that, by the way. Moses was a hater. On the morning of the third day, thunder roared and lightning flashed, and the dense clouds came down on the mountain. There was a long, loud blast from a ram's horn. A what?
Shofar.
A shofar. And all the people trembled. Moses led them out from the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. All of Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord had descended on it in the form of fire. The smoke billowed into the sky like smoke from a brick kiln, and the whole mountain shook violently. I think that would be very scary, don't you? As the blast of the ram's horn grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God thundered down his reply. The Lord came down on the top of Mount Sinai and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses climbed the mountain. Then the Lord told Moses, go back down and warn the people not to break through the boundaries to see the Lord, or they will die. But Lord, Moses protested, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai. You already warned us. You told me, mark off the boundary all around the mountain and set it apart as holy. But the Lord said, go down and bring Aaron back up with you. In the meantime, do not let the priests or the people break through the approach the Lord, or he will break out and destroy them. You know what that sounds like? Remember the part in Poltergeist where she says, stay away from the light. And then she's like, tell her to go to the light. And she's like, you said don't go into the light. That's what God's doing. He said, don't come up here. And now he's like, you know what? Bring Aaron up here. And Moses is like, hold up. You said don't bring anybody. You said don't let anybody climb up here, or else they're going to be killed. Don't go into the light. Chapter 20. 10 Commandments for the Covenant Community. This is exciting. Then God gave the people his instructions. 1. I am the Lord your God, who rescued you from the land of Egypt, the place of your slavery. Here we go. Here come the commandments. Because God understood that Moses could not do this alone. He could not govern an entire nation of people without laws, without rules. So here they come. Get ready if you don't know them. 1. You must not have any other God but me. I think we have seen from God thus far in Genesis and Exodus that he is not interested in competing with anyone else. And if you don't listen to him, he will destroy everything that you love. Number 2, you must not make for yourself an idol of any kind or an image of anything in the heavens or on the earth or in the sea. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. He says it right here. Who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods. I lay the sins of the parents upon their children. Hello. The entire family is affected, even children in the 3rd and 4th generations of those who reject me. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations on those who love me and obey my commands. Y'all, do you not hear that? Worshiping false gods, wearing things that are of
Like Buddha shirts.
well, I think it's like, it depends, I think, on your intent, right? So if you wear a t-shirt that happens to have an image of a different Yahweh or something, but your intent, but you serve the Lord, I think you're fine. If you wear hats or shirts and you serve a man, if your intent is to put one man above all others, you have sinned against God. So for those of you wearing hats or shirts that put one man above all other men, you have sinned against God. That's not negotiable. It says it right here in the Bible. You must not misuse the name of the Lord your God. The Lord will not let you go unpunished if you misuse his name. So I curse a lot. I do. I curse a lot. But I never, ever, ever take the Lord's name in vain. And I correct anybody who does it around me. So, that doesn't make me better than you. I'm just saying, for those of you who caution me not to curse so much, just know I say fuck a lot. But God, in the commandments, it doesn't say thou shalt not say fuck. It says do not take the Lord's name in vain. Do not misuse my name. Kaylee says, hold on, does he mean when we can't wear band shirts? No, because you're not, when you wear a band shirt, you're not placing one man above God. You're not serving the band, right? Like, you're just a fan of the band. I'm talking about people who worship false prophets and idolize one man over okay. It's not even just Satan shirts. It's like think of, I'm talking about like idolizing man, right? People who use God to serve disingenuous purpose that get people to follow them, or like when you
cults.
Yeah, like cult stuff. You know what I mean? Not in sync t-shirts. I think you're good. Keep your Duran Duran t-shirt. Remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath day of rest dedicated to the Lord your God. On that day, no one in your household may do any work. This includes you, your sons, your daughters, your male and female servants, your livestock, and any foreigners living among you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and everything in them, but on the seventh day he rested. This is why the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart as holy. So in your life, when your kids ask you to do something, you say, I cannot, because God said I can't do any work on Sundays, so make your own food. Right? I want to make you a grilled cheese, but I can't because God instructed me right here. God also says if you break one commandment, you break them all. So I'm not going to cook for you and risk my relationship with God. But I think Saturday is the real Sabbath. Okay, the next one. And I struggle with this a little bit, but I'm working on it. Honor your father and mother. Then the Lord will live a long, full life. Oh, then you will. Sorry. Then you will live a long, full life in the land of the Lord that God is giving you. Now, I think maybe God's mother was less annoying when he made that rule. I think, hey, I'm trying, Lord. You must not murder. I got this one, guys. I'm great at this one. I'm so good at not murdering, just so you know. Very good at this one. You must not commit adultery. If you say so, God. You must not steal. Yeah, stealing's probably bad. Better to just ask if you need something.
Bonnie Bell lip gloss in high school.
Lorianne stole Bonnie Bell lip gloss in high school. Please report it. Okay? You must not testify falsely against your neighbor. Now, keep in mind, when the Ten Commandments came out, the penalty for most things was death. So if you falsely testified against your neighbor could be stoned to death, which is why God was like, hey, none of that. There'll be none of that. Okay? So Don't lie on your neighbor, ever. And when people approach you with gossip and lies, you have to do your best to reject it. I know it's hard because you want to be part of it and blah, 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 but you really shouldn't. Okay? You must not covet your neighbor's house. You must not covet your neighbor's wife or male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. Basically, God is saying, focus on what is yours. Focus on growing what is yours, and do not set your sights on what belongs to the next person, because their journey is different than yours. And I know sometimes that's hard because it looks like everyone around you is winning. Everyone around you is healthy. Everyone around you is profiting or whatever. And you're thinking, why do I have chronic pain? Why can't I get out of debt? Why does my husband not love me? Why can't I whatever? But the saying goes, if you throw all your problems in a pile, you'll take your own problems back because somebody else always has it worse. Guys, I really have deep wrinkles right here. That shit is real. Whoa. Do not covet your neighbor's less wrinkled face. All right, those are the commandments. When the people heard the thunder and saw the loud blast of the ram's horn, and when they saw the flashes of lightning and the smoke billowing from the mountain, they stood at a distance, trembling with fear. And they said to Moses, you speak to us and we will listen, but don't let God speak directly to us or we will die. They were like, Moses, this shit is scary. Can we get Bernie Sanders back on the mountain? Because this is crazy. And Moses said, be not afraid. It's one of my favorite songs. Don't be afraid, Moses answered them, for God has come in this way to test you again, and so that your fear of him will keep you from sinning. As the people stood in the distance, Moses approached the dark cloud where God was. And the Lord said to Moses, say this to the people of Israel. You saw for yourselves that I spoke to you from heaven. Remember, you must not make idols of silver or gold to rival me. Build for me an altar made of earth and offer your sacrifices to me, your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and goats and your cattle. Build my altar wherever I cause my name to be remembered, and I will come to you and bless you. If you use stones to build my altar, use only natural uncut stones. Do not shape the stones with a tool, for that would make the altar unfit for holy use. And do not approach my altar by going up steps. If you do, someone might look under your clothing and see your nakedness. Well, God really did think of everything, didn't he? Don't go up the steps to come to church or temple, because if you go up the steps, someone might behind you and look up your sundress, and that would not be good. Okay, guys, here's the thing. In all seriousness, God left very specific commandments for us to follow, and in all seriousness, we all break them, which is why those of us who follow the teachings of Christ feel very lucky for our salvation, because essentially Jesus hung on the cross so that we could be abolished and forgiven of all our sins. For people who are Jewish and don't accept Jesus Christ as their Savior, there's a lot happening here, because God is very specific in what his commandments are. And listen, is there a chance that Jesus is man-made? Is there a chance that people who were following the Bible were like, look, we got to make something up here, because we are all sinners and this is not going well, right? Is it possible that people who were way, way, way back then knew that they were not following the 10 Commandments and knew that if they didn't create something to let them off the hook a little, that they were all going to live in fear and die in like some sort of flaming purgatory? Maybe, but I choose to believe because I have faith. So that's just me. But the commandments are tough. That's why they're commandments. It's not like God said, do not eat your children. I feel like we would not do that. You know, I feel like he knew we probably weren't going to do that, right? So he took the things that he was seeing from mankind and going, apparently you dumbasses need some rules. Okay? Which is interesting to me because God was like, adultery is wrong and like, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife, but everyone in the Bible was sleeping with everybody else's wife. Did y'all not did you not hear the commandments? This is what I mean. Tricky. So today's, I think, reflection is just, there are rules in every society and we should all do our best to follow the rules while understanding that some of the rules are harder for other people. And so if they break the rules, except for the murder one, that's not negotiable, we should truly step aside and let the Lord, who's extremely clear that he will deal with them, handle it. Because we all, look, yesterday was Saturday, today was Sunday. I know some of you cleaned the house, some of you went to work, some of you essentially broke the commandment of observing Sabbath, right? Because you did. Some of you walked outside and saw your neighbor's husband preparing their lawn and driveway for snow and thought, why is my husband such a lazy piece of shit? Well, that's coveting the next person's whatever. Okay? It just is. We all struggle with it. So just remember to have patience and grace with the people around you. Keep your relationship with God personal and focus on, the commandments that come easy for you. Feel grateful for that. And the ones that don't, just continue to pray about. Okay, I love you guys. I'm going to finish laundry and get ready and do all that good stuff. Those of you that are in Jersey or in the Northeast, get ready for the snow because it's coming. I love you guys so much. Have a great, great day.